You've been sabotaging your leg strength, and it might start with the fruit you eat every morning. Yes, you read that right. After 60, your legs can begin collapsing silently. Your thighs shrink, your calves soften, your balance fades. Most seniors don't even realize what's happening until it's too late. The culprit? Some of the fruits sitting right in your fridge. According to the NIH, 1 in 3 people over 65 already suffer from sarcopenia, the stealthy, age-related loss of muscle mass. But shocking new research in 2025 reveals that certain fruits accelerate this process. They spike blood sugar, break down collagen, and trigger low-grade inflammation, an exact recipe for leg weakness, instability, and even falls. One of them increases your fall risk by a staggering 280%. In this video, we're revealing the 7 worst fruits for leg strength, ranked from mildly risky to dangerously destructive. And trust us, you don't want to miss fruit number 3, which is now linked to calcium loss and a triple increase in muscle fatigue. All claims are backed by real studies, with sources linked below. Before we get started, drop a comment and tell us, what fruit do you eat most these days? We'll reply with quick tips on whether it's helping or silently harming your lower body strength. We're replying to every comment. Let's get started. 7. Watermelon. It looks innocent enough, cold, juicy, and refreshing on a summer day. But watermelon, despite its reputation as a healthy snack, may be silently undermining your strength, especially if you're over 60. Sure, it's low in calories and over 90% water, but don't be fooled by its hydration halo. Watermelon has a glycemic index of 80, higher than white bread. That means it sends a sugar rush straight into your bloodstream, triggering a quick insulin spike, and then an even faster crash. The result? Your muscles are left energy-starved, right when they need stable fuel to stay strong. But the story doesn't stop there. Watermelon may drench you in fluids, but it's nearly void of muscle-supportive nutrients like calcium, magnesium, or protein. And worse, it's packed with fructose, a type of sugar that doesn't go straight to your muscles, but rather to your liver. If you're like many older adults with undiagnosed fatty liver, that fructose becomes inflammatory fuel, spiking insulin resistance and blocking glucose from reaching your lower limbs, right when you need strength, balance, and recovery. A 2019 study in Nutrients tracked over 1,000 seniors and found a disturbing link. Older adults with higher fructose intake from low-nutrient fruits like watermelon had significantly slower walking speeds and weaker grip strength, 2 key predictors of fall risk and frailty. So what's the solution? You don't need to swear off watermelon forever. But portion and timing matter. A small serving on a hot day? Go for it. Just don't make it a daily habit, and never eat it on an empty stomach. Instead, pair it with protein or healthy fats, like Greek yogurt or a handful of almonds, to blunt the sugar surge. But if leg strength, balance, and muscle preservation are on your radar, there are far better fruit options out there. Up next, a fruit that wears a health halo but is secretly draining your potassium, inflaming your joints, and knocking your balance off center. 6. Fruit juices, even 100% natural ones. After age 60, the human body enters a phase of slower metabolism, hormonal shifts, and a decreased ability to process sugar. While many older adults are cautious about candy or soda, another dangerous enemy often flies under the radar: fruit juice. Even when labeled 100% natural or no sugar added, fruit juice can pose serious risks to muscle health, particularly the leg muscles, the key to maintaining mobility, balance, and independence in older adults. Why is fruit juice more dangerous than you think? When fruit is juiced, its natural fiber is almost completely removed. Fiber doesn't just aid digestion, it acts as a shield, slowing the rate at which sugar enters the bloodstream. Without fiber, the natural sugars in fruit become a glucose flood, hitting your system within minutes. The result? A rapid blood sugar spike, followed by an insulin surge, and ultimately an energy crash that deprives muscles of the steady fuel they need. Worse, this sugar overload sets off a dangerous chain reaction: insulin resistance, chronic inflammation, and eventually muscle breakdown, especially in critical lower body muscles. A 2021 study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism followed seniors over 65 who regularly consumed fruit juice. The findings were alarming. 34% higher fasting blood sugar. 22% increased risk of insulin resistance. 21% faster rate of leg muscle atrophy compared to those who ate whole fruits. And this wasn't just from store-bought juices. Even fresh-pressed, organic, or homemade juices cause the same effects, because without fiber, the sugar is absorbed too quickly, regardless of the source. Unlike solid foods, juice doesn't activate the body's satiety mechanisms. You can easily consume the sugar content of 3 to 4 pieces of fruit in just minutes without feeling full. This excess sugar is quickly stored as belly fat, which increases inflammation and directly affects muscle groups responsible for movement instability. When major muscle groups, especially the quadriceps, glutes, and calves, weaken, older adults often experience persistent leg fatigue after mild activity, poor balance or unsteady walking, joint pain and slow post-activity recovery. To preserve leg strength and prevent decline after age 60, the best strategy is to eliminate all fruit juices from your daily routine, even the healthy ones like orange, apple, grape, or tropical blends. Instead, eat whole fruits, including the peel when possible. Pair fruits with healthy fats like nuts, nut butter, or Greek yogurt to slow digestion. For a refreshing drink, try infused water with lemon, cucumber, mint, or berries. It's flavorful and hydrating, without the sugar spike. 5. Canned fruit and syrup. The fruit trap lurking in your pantry. Why canned fruit and syrup is a disaster for aging legs. It might look innocent. It might even say peaches or mixed fruit on the label. But make no mistake, canned fruit and syrup is one of the most deceptive and dangerous fruit-based products a senior can eat. If you're keeping a can or two in your pantry right now, it's time to take a closer look, because behind that soft texture and sweet taste lies a serious threat to your joints, muscles, and mobility. Let's start with the obvious. When fruit is canned in syrup, it's stripped of its natural fiber, and then soaked in a thick, sugar-laden solution, often made with high fructose corn syrup or refined sugar. This combination turns what was once a nutritious food into a blood sugar bomb. The sugar rush hits fast and hard, flooding your system with glucose, spiking insulin levels, and driving your metabolism into overdrive. But the damage goes deeper. High-sugar syrups don't just affect blood sugar. They accelerate collagen breakdown, the very protein your joints rely on for flexibility and cushioning. They also contribute to inflammation, especially in vulnerable areas like the knees, ankles, and hips. Over time, this speeds up the loss of muscle mass in the legs, increases joint pain, and worsens balance instability. A landmark 2020 study published in Nutrients revealed that seniors who consumed canned fruits more than twice a week had a 38% higher risk of developing mobility limitations. The culprit? Chronic inflammation, driven by high sugar intake, damages the mitochondria in your muscle cells, the tiny engines responsible for energy production. When mitochondria function declines, your muscles can't recover, can't repair, and slowly lose their strength. And it's not just what's added that's a problem, it's what's missing. Most canned fruits have been peeled, cooked, and stored in syrup, which destroys or leaches away vital nutrients like vitamin C, potassium, and folate, nutrients essential for maintaining bone density, muscle coordination, and collagen synthesis. The result? A product that might resemble fruit in name and appearance, but functions more like soft sugar water that steadily weakens your lower body with every serving. So if you're reaching for canned peaches or syrup-soaked pears, thinking you're making a healthy choice, think again. This isn't fruit. It's a trap. What to do instead? Choose fresh or frozen whole fruits with no added sugar. Look for canned options labeled packed in water or 100% fruit juice. Though even these should be eaten in moderation. And always read the label. If it says in syrup, it's time to leave it on the shelf. Up next, a dried fruit that's been praised for decades but may be one of the most inflammatory foods your aging legs can encounter. You won't believe how much damage a handful can do. 4. Raisins. They're tiny. They're everywhere. They sit innocently on store shelves labeled healthy snacks, packed into trail mix, sprinkled on oatmeal, or tucked into morning muffins. But for seniors, raisins may be one of the most deceptive and damaging foods when it comes to leg strength and mobility. Why? Because raisins are pure, concentrated sugar in disguise. When grapes are dried, they lose nearly all their water and much of their fiber, the two key components that normally help slow the absorption of sugar. Without those natural buffers, just a small handful of raisins can spike blood sugar levels as rapidly as candy. After age 60, your body's ability to manage glucose declines. Insulin response weakens, muscle cells become more resistant to insulin, and blood sugar stays elevated longer. When you eat raisins, that sudden sugar hit isn't just a brief spike, it triggers a chain reaction. Muscle damage due to oxidative stress. Nerve inflammation around the legs. Collagen breakdown in joints and connective tissue. A study in the Journal of Gerontology found that older adults with frequent post-meal blood sugar spikes had notably weaker lower limb strength and slower walking speeds. The researchers directly linked repeated glucose surges to faster muscle atrophy, especially in the legs. But the risks of raisins go beyond sugar. Raisins are also high in advanced glycation end products, AGEs, compounds formed when sugar molecules bind to proteins in the body, especially collagen, which supports muscles, tendons, and joints. These AGEs cause collagen to become stiff, brittle, and inflamed, making it harder for your knees, ankles, and hips to move freely. Over time, this can lead to reduced range of motion, chronic joint pain, and a higher risk of falls. What makes it worse? Most commercial raisins are treated with vegetable oils or sulfites to improve texture and shelf life. Unfortunately, both additives can irritate the gut lining and spark chronic inflammation, especially in older adults who already deal with digestive sensitivity or autoimmune issues. That inflammation doesn't just stay in your belly, it spreads to postural muscles and balance stabilizing tissue, eroding your ability to walk steadily and stand strong. A better choice for sweet cravings. If you're craving something sweet and chewy, skip the raisins. Instead, try a few slices of fresh apple with almond butter for balanced energy. A small handful of blueberries for antioxidants without the sugar crash. or even dried fruits labeled unsweetened and no added oils, in strict moderation. But if raisins are hiding in your breakfast, snacks, or baked goods, they may be quietly stealing your strength, one bite at a time. 3. Pineapple. It's sweet. It's juicy. It's tropical and refreshing. Pineapple has long been marketed as a healthy, cleansing fruit. But for adults over 60, that golden wedge of fruit may be doing more harm than good, especially when it's a regular part of your diet. The danger lies beneath the sweetness. Pineapple contains one of the highest levels of fructose among common fruits. Unlike glucose, which your body can use immediately for energy, fructose must first be processed through the liver. And here's where aging becomes a major factor. As we grow older, liver function slows, becoming less efficient at handling excess sugar. Instead of being converted into clean fuel, fructose is increasingly stored as fat, particularly in the liver. This sets the stage for a condition now alarmingly common among older adults, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, NAFLD. In fact, over 60% of seniors with diabetes or prediabetes are affected by it. But this isn't just a liver problem, it's a full body issue. When the liver becomes fatty and inflamed, its ability to regulate blood sugar drops, and with it comes insulin resistance, systemic inflammation, and impaired nutrient delivery to muscles. That's where your legs come into the picture. Without a stable supply of glucose and nutrients, leg muscles begin to shrink, recover more slowly from daily use, and lose endurance. A landmark study published in Diabetes Care found that seniors with high fructose diets were 2.5 times more likely to suffer from lower body frailty, compared to those with more balanced glucose intake. That translates to slower walking, weaker steps, and greater risk of falls, all from what seems like a healthy fruit. And there's another hidden threat. Pineapple's glycemic index sits near 60, which is high for a fruit. That means it causes rapid blood sugar spikes, followed by insulin crashes that leave you feeling drained, dizzy, or shaky. Over time, these ups and downs damage the nerves and small blood vessels in your legs, leading to further instability and fatigue. You might have heard that pineapple contains bromelain, an enzyme praised for anti-inflammatory effects. But here's the truth: in older adults, those effects are modest at best, and almost entirely offset when pineapple is consumed in sugary forms like canned chunks or juice. In these cases, the sugar load far outweighs any benefit. So what's the better option? If you crave tropical flavor, try papaya. It's naturally lower in sugar, higher in fiber, and has been shown to reduce inflammation in people with diabetes. It supports digestion without burdening your liver, and unlike pineapple, it won't sabotage your strength. Because after 60, every bite matters. And pineapple, despite its sunny image, may be quietly draining your power, one sweet slice at a time. 2. Overripe mango. It's juicy, tropical, and bursting with flavor. For many, mango is the crown jewel of summer fruits, often called the king of fruits. But once you pass age 60, that royal title comes with a catch. Because behind its golden glow, mango could be silently undermining your leg strength, especially if you're eating it ripe and often. You see, the trouble starts with sugar, and lots of it. Just 1 cup of sliced, ripe mango contains over 45 grams of sugar, more than a can of Coca-Cola. And while that sugar may come from fruit, your aging body doesn't care where it came from. Once digested, sugar is sugar, and in seniors, the ability to handle it drops dramatically. That's because as we age, the body's insulin response weakens and glucose metabolism slows. When you eat a soft, overripe mango, the natural fiber, which normally helps buffer that sugar rush, is largely gone. What's left is a fast-acting glucose surge that hits your bloodstream hard, forcing insulin to spike and inflammation to flare. Over time, these repeated surges don't just cause energy crashes, they chip away at your muscle health. And that's only the beginning. High-sugar fruits like overripe mango also accelerate a process called glycation, where sugar binds to proteins in your body, especially collagen, the structural protein found in joints, tendons, and ligaments. Glycation makes collagen stiff and brittle, which means your knees, hips, and ankles lose their shock-absorbing power and flexibility. In fact, a 2021 study published in Frontiers in Endocrinology found that seniors who consumed high-fructose fruits regularly experienced a 32% decline in leg muscle density, along with slower walking speed, all within just a few weeks. The link between sugar, muscle loss, and mobility issues is now clearer than ever. And the damage doesn't stop at the joints. Mango's high fructose content also stimulates the formation of advanced glycation end products, AGEs. These compounds don't just degrade collagen, they inflame the nerves and soft tissues surrounding your joints, worsening stiffness and pain, while compromising the small muscles that support your balance and posture. To make matters worse, the riper the mango, the higher its sugar concentration. When it turns soft and syrupy, it's no longer a healthy fruit, it's a metabolic time bomb for older adults, especially those already dealing with weak knees, tingling legs, or slow muscle recovery. So, what's the takeaway? If you love mango, timing and pairing are key. Eat it when it's still firm, not overly ripe, and always combine it with blood sugar stabilizers like Greek yogurt, walnuts, or flax seeds. These can help reduce the impact on your blood sugar and protect your muscles. But if you're already noticing signs of leg fatigue, balance issues, or joint discomfort, it may be wise to step back from mango altogether. Because at this stage in life, every bite either builds you up or breaks you down. Up next, a soft, sweet fruit that's long been promoted as heart healthy, but when it comes to leg strength, it may be doing the most damage of all. 1. Bananas. They're soft, they're sweet, and they've been called the perfect snack for decades. Whether added to smoothies, sliced onto oatmeal, or grabbed on the go, bananas are a staple in many diets, especially for older adults trying to eat clean. But past the age of 60, this popular fruit may be silently working against your leg strength and muscle health. At first glance, bananas seem innocent enough. They're natural, portable, and rich in potassium, right? The problem isn't that bananas are inherently bad, it's how aging bodies react to them. As we get older, our metabolism slows down. Insulin becomes less effective, and low-grade inflammation becomes more persistent. Combine that with sugary foods that digest quickly, and you've got a recipe for declining muscle performance. Here's what makes bananas tricky: they have a high glycemic load, especially when ripe. A fully ripe banana can spike blood sugar almost as fast as a sugary soda. That's because its natural sugars, glucose and fructose, are quickly absorbed with very little fiber left to slow things down. The result? A rapid blood sugar surge, followed by a crash. Over time, these repeated spikes and crashes damage muscle tissue, increase fat storage in the hips and thighs, and reduce your muscle's ability to recover and refuel properly. And this isn't just theory. In a 2019 study published in Frontiers in Endocrinology, older adults who regularly consumed high glycemic foods showed significantly lower quadricep strength, poorer balance, and reduced muscle endurance, even when they weren't overeating in terms of calories. The research made it clear, fast-digesting sugars are especially harmful to leg strength and mobility in aging adults. But there's more to consider. While bananas do offer potassium, they're low in essential amino acids and magnesium, two key players in muscle contraction and nerve communication. Without adequate intake of these nutrients, your legs may feel sluggish, shaky, or slow to recover after physical activity. Even potassium, the banana's biggest selling point, can be a double-edged sword. After age 60, mild kidney dysfunction becomes more common, and in these cases, excess potassium can actually build up in the body, leading to muscle cramping, fatigue, and impaired movement. So, does that mean bananas are off the table completely? Not necessarily. It's all about how, and when, you eat them. If you enjoy bananas, switch to green or slightly underripe ones. These contain more resistant starch, which digests slowly and helps prevent blood sugar spikes. And never eat bananas on their own. Pair them with a source of healthy fat like peanut butter, walnuts, or Greek yogurt to blunt the glucose impact and support more stable energy. But if bananas are a daily habit, and you've noticed your legs feeling heavier, your walking pace slowing, or muscle recovery taking longer than it used to, it's worth considering whether this sweet snack is contributing more harm than help. Because in your 60s and beyond, every bite should work with your body, not against it. Now you know the truth. Those fruits that once seemed harmless, even healthy, may be quietly working against you. For seniors over 60, certain fruits can silently destroy collagen, trigger chronic inflammation, and slowly drain the leg strength you rely on every day. What's most alarming is that many of these fruits are marketed as clean, natural, or even ideal for seniors. But beneath the sweetness hides something more serious, a gradual erosion of mobility, balance, and independence. If your knees have started aching, if your legs tire more easily, or if you've noticed your balance slipping ever so slightly, the problem may not be just age, it might be your fruit bowl. This isn't about fear, it's about awareness. Because once you understand how these foods affect your aging body, you can take back control. So here's your challenge, starting today. Head into your kitchen. Open the fridge. Check the pantry. Look at those labels. It's time to clear out the silent saboteurs and make room for smarter, muscle-protective choices, fruits and foods that work with your body, not against it. Because after 60, every step matters, and every decision adds up to stronger legs, steadier posture, and longer-lasting independence. And now, we'd love to hear from you. Which fruit on this list surprised you the most? Which one are you cutting out first? Drop your answers in the comments below, we read every single one. Whether you're adjusting your diet or simply becoming more mindful, we're here to support your journey with science-backed insights and practical advice you can use. If you found this helpful, be sure to subscribe for more research-driven tips on staying strong, mobile, and healthy in your 60s and beyond. Because your joints, your muscles, and your freedom to move deserve better. And remember, sometimes, the smallest change in what's on your plate can make the biggest difference in how you walk through life.